guidelines are that you please be engaged during our discussion this evening. Definitely drop in the comments where you're watching from, where you're listening from. We would definitely like to know that information. While you engage, please be respectful. Everyone who comes on here is an entrepreneur, small business owner, and they're here to share their passion, purpose, and plan with us, the community, and engage with us in a way that we don't always get to engage with small business owners and entrepreneurs. So please be engaged on that note. As far as this evening's guest, I want to go ahead and give just a little bit of background information. Up first, let me go ahead and remind y'all to go ahead and share this stream today. I want to make sure that you get this out there to others so that they're able to hear the information shared on our live today. And subscribe if you're on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, just follow and share. And if you're seeing this on Instagram, go ahead and like the replay. So now I'm going to go ahead and get to the back information. I was a little bit ahead of myself. So today's guest is Rihanna Stevenson. She is the head of Rihanna Restyles by Rihanna Yvette, and she is a fashion stylist, wardrobe stylist, and Misa Hilton Fashion Academy alumni. I want to thank you so much this evening for joining us and joining this discussion.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So I don't want to take up too much of the front end of the time. I want to let you get acquainted with the community and get to
Okay.
know the community by sharing what you do right now. What is your current role or roles, and what the scope of those roles are right now?
Okay. Well, like Amanda said, my name is Rihanna. I go by Rihanna Yvette. I am a fashion stylist. I work with different celebrities. I style others that aren't celebrities as well. So I do wardrobe styling, fashion styling, closets, you name it, personal shopping, things of that nature. Um, I started the Misa Hilton Fashion Academy in 2000, June of 2018. I graduated in June of 2019. Since then, it had been an amazing experience. I mean, I wouldn't trade anything about it for anything in the world. Um, I currently, well, since COVID, haven't been back and forth too much, but I do a lot of work virtually. I do work with a celebrity stylist. His name is Jason Rembert. He styles Issa Rae, Marseille Martin, Michael B. Jordan. Those are like a few of his top three clients, and Little Baby too. He styles him, so I do help him out a lot virtually with that, with different things, like different styles and things like that. Like we just did a couple months ago, Michael B. Jordan was on the cover of Wonderland magazine. I helped out with that. Last year around this time, I was in New York and I did New York Fashion Week. I fitted Issa Rae. This was when her movie The Photograph was debuting, so I got to fit her and everything like that. So it's been a really good experience thus far.
That is amazing to hear. What is it like to have to work virtually? And what's that transition been like? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Oh wow, that transition has been, it's been tough. It's been an adjustment just because you're so used to like being in it and in the moment and everything. And so working virtually is, you just have to always pay attention to your phone, always pay attention to your email, your text messages, phone calls, whatever. But yeah, it's not easy doing it virtually. Um, just because normally I would go do a pull. If I was in New York, I would go do a pull from
Right.
whatever designer that I needed to pull from, versus I have to virtually email them and contact them that way, and then someone in New York will have to go grab that those pieces and everything.
So it just creates a little few more pieces to the parts.
Yeah, it just creates a little bit more, a few more pieces, but it gets the job done. So
Okay. Well, so I just want to ask you, so how did you discover your passion for fashion and decide that's what you wanted to do with your life and more in a full-time fashion?
well, honestly, I've always loved fashion. Like, I believe I've loved fashion since I was 5 years old. I never really knew anything about fashion styling. I didn't. I always thought that you had to go to school to be a designer, or anything like that to be into fashion. So like I've always, it's always been a part of who I was in every aspect of my life. Like I remember when I would be, even in college, I would always, the highlight of my day would be what I wore for the day.
Okay.
So like, and it still is like, I just love clothes. I love everything about fashion. I love putting looks together. I love um just the creative part of it. How you can just create a look and be that look, so I just love everything about that.
Okay. So when you mentioned creativity, does your creativity just stick with fashion or does your creativity spill out into other areas as well?
um it kind of sticks more so with fashion as far as like my creativity. I mean, I anything fashion related. Like I love hair, I love makeup, I love interior design, I love anything where I could express any type of creativity.
Definitely. So who or what would you say has been a major influence over your own personal style?
My own personal style, I would say, well, my influence in fashion in general is my grandmother. She was always my fashion inspiration. She would always wear hoop earrings, big earrings, and lipstick every day, and that was like the biggest thing for me. That's something I never leave the house without. I remember being a kid and just watching her get dressed and always thinking like, wow, I love what she's wearing, you know what I mean? And always going through her closet and just looking at like all her clothes and everything like that. So she's been my biggest in fashion. She's been my inspiration in fashion. As far as who inspires me now, um I have a couple different, I mean, I get inspired by not just people but by things. I can get inspired by nature. I can get inspired by the season. I can get inspired by just people watching, you know what I mean? And then I'll sometimes, like, I'll when I'm in New York, I'll just sit and I'll just watch like people, and I'll just watch what they're wearing. I'll just, pay attention to what they're wearing and put pieces of what they have on, in my mind and match them with different things. So,
So it's an active process always.
yeah, yeah.
I like that. That's good to hear because
Yeah.
a lot of people will say their minds when they're creative, they just go, and it's always a process. So
It is. It is.
definitely consistency there. When did you decide to make fashion part of your career? And when you did that, were there some obstacles to it?
Oh wow. I decided, I remember it was, I was in a transition in life, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, where I fit in. I mean, I currently work in property management as for my normal 9 to 5. And I always knew like that wasn't something that I always, wanted to do with my life. And so honestly, like December, I believe it was December 2017, I was just praying one night, and I was just praying and I was just asking God, like, you know, I give it all to you. Just guide me in a direction that you want me to go in life. And as I continued to pray, like each night, as each night went on, it just came to me like fashion styling. I love fashion, like I had originally in 2000, I believe it was 2014, I had an online boutique called After Five Fashions. And I loved it, but it didn't allow me to be creative, like I bought things wholesale, so, and I'm the type of person, if I don't like it, I'm not going to wear it, so I'm not just going to buy stuff just because, or purchase anything just because I know that it will sell. I have to physically like it and physically want to wear it myself. So I left my boutique, I got rid of that. And like I said, like I was in that transition of trying to find my way. And like he just, I don't know, he just put it in my heart to do fashion, to be a stylist. And I had originally signed up for an online program, to, for fashion styling. And I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't something that I was just like, oh, I was into. And
Right.
how I found out about Misa's program is my cousin had tagged me on a post on Instagram and was like, you should look into this. And I was like, okay. So I thought it was another online program. And so when I called, she was telling me, well, the person that was in charge, she was telling me that it was something I physically had to come to New York for, and I'm like, oh my god, like I don't know if I can do that.
Right.
I don't know if I can do all that. But she was like, no, I think you'll be a good fit for the program. Just go ahead and fill out an application. If your application gets selected, you can move on to the next process of being interviewed. Well, my application got selected and I moved on to the next process to be interviewed. And I was interviewed by Misa to be in the program.
Oh, that had to be exciting. What was that like? What was that
Oh,
experience like? And
I was so nervous. I was so nervous because I've always knew of her.
mhm.
Um, and I've always admired every look that she's done. Like when she did Little Kim back in 1999 for the VMAs, and Little Kim had that lavender jumpsuit on. That's like an iconic look. Um, Jodeci, the combat boots and the baggy clothes, like those are iconic looks. Those are looks that you would never ever in life forget. So I've always admired her work. And so we had did a Skype interview just because she's in New York and I'm obviously in Ohio. And while we were doing the interview, she had asked me, why should she pick me? And I said, just because I prayed on it, and I believe in manifestation. I believe in God, and I believe that this is the right fit for me. And there you have it.
That is amazing that you spoke that moment in that moment, that manifestation,
Hmm.
that confidence, and that
Hmm.
that spoke volumes for you.
Yes, it did. Hmm.
So, can you tell us what it was like to attend the Misa Hilton Fashion Academy? I mean, that's a big
Yeah.
deal. When you started attending there and learning the information, like, what was
Oh
that
wow.
like in this experience?
It was one of the best experience. An experience that I would never ever forget. I mean, I was being taught by Misa Hilton. You know what I mean? Like learning from the person who originated, fashion styling, especially in the Black community. You know what I mean? Like she was the first fashion stylist in the Black community. And so she paved the way for people like me. So it was just one of the most amazing experience to like to learn from her and to listen and to have her teach me and put and pour like so much information into me, and to believe in me was the most important thing, just to believe in me, you know.
That's amazing. So, who are your fashion services geared toward? I know you mentioned that you do
Hmm.
two types of services. So, I want to talk a little bit about that so that
Hmm.
people understand a little bit more about the wardrobe styling as well as the celebrity styling aspect.
Hmm. I style anyone, anyone that comes to me and they just says like, I want you to help me. I have an event that I'm attending. I want you to help me to pick out an outfit, um I'll style them for that. I don't just close it off to anyone. Like I've worked with men, I work with women. I haven't worked with kids yet, but I've done men and women. I'm not gonna say that I don't like celebrity styling because I do love it, but that was never my intentions to be a celebrity stylist. It was just always to be in fashion. So I love both. I love both sides of it.
So, the fact that you're able to do what you love every single day,
Mhm.
it doesn't
Mhm.
matter who
Mhm.
you do this
It
with, as
doesn't
long as
matter who I
you're doing
do it
it.
for, just as long as I'm doing it. So.
Definitely. So, I know you mentioned earlier the virtual working. Are there any other ways that the pandemic has really impacted the work that you've been able to do?
Yes, it has. A lot of things. It's been one of those things where it's been up and down. With I was always on the go. Like I was in New York at least once or twice a month. working. So like that impacted me a lot. Like it on a more personal level too. Just because once you're so used to doing something repetitively all the time, and when it gets taken away from you, you don't really know how to, react to it.
To
So
adjustment.
yeah, so it was like one of those things with me where I was just like, oh my God, like I don't know what to do because I mean, during the pandemic, like I was in New York in January of 2020. I did New York Fashion Week, fitted Issa Rae. I worked with Michael B. Jordan for a Coach campaign. Like that was in February. And then I was supposed to go back in March to help with the Kids' Choice Awards. And, it was just all these things I was following up. And then every
Uh-oh. We lost the audio.
Ooh, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
There you go. No, we missed part of that. I heard the Kids' Choice Awards and then
Yeah,
we lost audio.
I was supposed to be there for the Kids' Choice Awards, and I was just saying like that. It just impacted me on a more personal level than anything.
And this pandemic has definitely been a whole lot of personal and
Mhm.
professional impact, I think, for all of us. So
Yes,
all
of
those
course, it
adjustments,
has.
we got to give ourselves grace for sure, and all these
I know.
adjustments.
Yes.
So, what is some of the feedback from some of the work that you've done, whether it's wardrobe styling, celebrity styling? What is some of the feedback that has kind of reaffirmed your choice to go into fashion and make that more of what you do on the front end?
Wow. Um, I'm the type of person like I'm always hard on myself. Always hard on myself. So it's days where I'm always questioning, is this what I'm supposed to be doing, or do I need to be doing something else? Like is fashion
Mhm.
styling for me? And I every time that happens, I always get like an email for a job or something, or someone contacts me and says, "Hey, I want you to style me," or it's something just always, you know, tells me, that this is for me, that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So, um, I've had several experiences like that. And I kind of believe it's God telling me, like, girl, you just need to believe in you because I got you. You know what I mean? So
Anytime
that's
that
what
pops up, it seems like
I
it's
just really, really
confirmation.
believe that's what it is. Like, stop questioning yourself, just go for it.
Okay. Definitely, and I think you said something earlier on, and then that ties into it to just kind of go for it, like the you said
Yeah.
you were praying, and then you just went for it. Like you had, there's
Hmm.
something that you just have to do, like, and you've
You
got to
just
take
have
those
to do
first
it.
steps.
Yeah. You just have to do it. It because if you don't, you'll never know. You'll never know. I mean, I've had some experience. I've had good and I've had bad experience. I'm not going to say bad. I have lessons. I have
Definitely.
lessons that, you know, um has taught me, well, I could have did this a little bit differently if I would have did this and that. Like, I'll give you an example. I was in New York. I was working on a commercial for a Manhattan mini storage, and I had to run around the whole city, and I'm texting and trying to make sure I'm picking up this item, returning this item, and doing all these things. And I had to go to Steve Madden. So I get to Steve Madden, which I was originally, we were shooting in Manhattan. Steve Madden was in Brooklyn. So I get to Steve Madden and I'm texting, and I must have sat my wallet down, and I just sat my wallet there. And I'm like, okay. I didn't realize I did that until I got all the way back to Manhattan. So I'm like, oh my God, like this is crazy. I needed to get my wallet for my personal stuff, and it was a receipt in there that I needed to make a return. So instead of me taking the train, which the train was 6 stops, I took a Uber. And knowing New York's traffic, I don't know why I did that, but it took me forever to get there. And I didn't, I mean, the shoot and everything got done, but it was just like I could have eliminated and saved so much time if I would have did this, and this. And I was so hard on myself. And the head stylist I was working for, she was really cool. She was just like, it's okay, you know what I mean? Don't worry about it. I'm just glad that you got your personal wallet back. But I'm like, I'm sorry, So, but that was an experience that I had that I was just like, okay, I need to utilize my time a little bit better, because time is everything in this industry.
Time, yes, time, and time is becoming all the more precious. I mean, especially during a
Mhm.
pandemic, I think we're all learning that lesson a little bit differently from day to day. So,
Mhm.
the way that
Mhm.
that just really resonates.
Mhm.
So, if you had to, and I know that it's because I'm asking the question, if you
Mhm.
had to put a purpose to what you do, if there's a reason, ultimately deep down, if you had to just define it with that, what would you say is the purpose or the reason behind what you do with fashion?
I'm sorry.
Okay. What would you say is the reason or the purpose behind what you do with fashion? Like if you had to define it and bring it down just to that, what would you say it would be the
The
purpose?
purpose, it's just something I love. It's something that makes me smile. It's something that makes my heart skip a beat. It's my first love. Um, it's something that I wouldn't change in the world. It's just something that I just love to do, and I'm so passionate about it.
That's why I had to ask because at the end of the day, that's that authenticity, that right there, when you
Yeah,
the sparkle in your eye, the way you speak
yeah,
about it, that is
yeah.
that
It's
is
just
real.
something I love. Like, and like I said before earlier, it's never really been about. I've been blessed with the opportunities that I have had, but it's just never been about celebrities. It's just always been about the love of fashion, and making other people feel good.
Definitely. I hear that so often, helping other people feel good and getting to that
Hmm.
point because not everybody feels good. And sometimes it's that
Right.
outfit or that hairstyle or the make whatever
It's
the
that makeup
thing
or that outfit that just make you feel like, okay, I got it.
is.
So,
Can you go out there and take on the world for sure.
yep.
Planning is also super important. So let's talk about some planning things that you have going on. Do you have anything that you have going on currently or in the near future um, that you're able to speak on with respect to fashion or
Mhm.
anything personal endeavors?
Oh yes. I'll be in New York next week. I'll be working for the stylist that I work for, Jason Rimber. I just found out yesterday that I'll be working for Elaine. She's on the talk.
Okay.
So he styles her. So I'll be helping out with that. I'll be helping assist another stylist that styles James Harden for GQ magazine. So I'll be doing that while I'm in New York. And then I have my own personal things that I'm working on. I'm working with one of my friends here. She has a branding company called Top Style Branding. And me and her are working on a couple things this summer as far as like collabing. I'm collabing with her company. And also, I'm working on a nonprofit organization for young creatives that want to be into fashion, music, or anything like that. So, those are the things
Okay.
I'm working on.
Well, we love a good collaboration, so we'll definitely be
Oh,
on the lookout
yes,
for
yes,
that.
yes,
And then you spoke about nonprofit and working with, you said youth.
yes.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your passion for working with youth? I know we
Wow.
talked a little bit about
Yes,
that, but I would
yes,
like for you to share that as well.
yes. Out of everything that I have going on, that's like one of my most. I'm so excited about this. Like I'm so excited just because they're our future. I know that sounds cliche and everyone says that, but it's the truth.
It is.
Um, and I'm so passionate about working with youth like inner city, that they don't have anyone believing in them, and they don't have anyone encouraging them, and they don't have anyone telling them that they can do it. Like that's to me is like the biggest thing, like when someone encourages you and pushes you and believes in you, it makes you go harder. It makes you believe more in yourself. So, and it's so many talented kids out here, it's so many talented, like just looking at kids, and speaking to different kids and everything like that, you're like, wow, you're so talented, you should utilize that. I want you to utilize that because I want them to be successful. So with my nonprofit organization, what I plan on doing is creating internships with them,
Mhm.
so they will be able to work with different stylists and everything like I have.
Okay, and I don't want to ask too much, and if you can't answer it, totally let me know. But
Okay.
your nonprofit, will it be in Ohio? Will it be New
Yes.
York?
Yes. I want to gear it more towards Ohio because in my experience, like working in New York and everything like that, they don't think like there's any fashion here. You know, they don't think like we know anything about fashion other than like in Chicago. So I want to gear it more towards um kids here, you know, the youth here.
No, I'm glad to hear you say that. I've previously worked with kids. Anybody who knows me in the audience would know that I've worked with kids, and you're right. There's a lot of opportunities in different cities,
Mhm.
especially if they're fashion oriented. But I mean,
Mhm.
Ohio isn't exactly where you
Isn't
think
yeah.
of fashion when you
Yes,
first
yes.
think of
And I
it.
want to be able to create that for them. Like I want them to be able to not just limit themselves by just because of where they live, your location, because that doesn't matter. It
You know,
doesn't matter at all.
I'm glad you said that. That's so important because Ohio
Mhm.
gets left behind. And
All the
then
time.
a little background wise, because you're from Ohio, like born and
Mhm.
raised Ohio. So
Mhm.
um, you're from Sandusky, Ohio,
Yes.
and right now you're located
Toledo.
in Toledo, Ohio.
Yep.
So that's amazing because those are areas where, again, Sandusky, most people don't even think about people being from Sandusky, Ohio. They think
No.
about Cedar Point. So
Right.
that's very amazing right there.
Right,
The
right.
opportunity to a place where I don't want to say it's a desert of opportunity, but it's definitely not a plentiful area for different
Exactly.
kinds of
It's not a place where you can exactly flourish, you know, and
no.
spread your wings. And I just want to be able to be someone that can help them spread their wings, you know, um, and do whatever I can. And you know, I have a very good support team behind me that is going to willing to support me and help me through the process. And so that just even makes them even more amazing.
Yes. So, what advice would you maybe give to someone who is thinking about, jumping into whatever their career is, whether it's fashion, whatever the thing is they want to do, their dream is at? What advice would you give them if they're kind of teetering on that edge, thinking about jumping, but haven't quite made that leap of faith yet?
First thing first, pray on it. Pray, write it down, write your goals down, and don't just write it down as far as saying this is what I want to do. Write down this is what I am going to do. This is how what I am going to do, and write down how you're going to feel after you complete that. You know, everything is
Mhm.
about prayer and manifesting that. Everything, um and just do it, and just do it. What could go wrong? You know what I mean? I always say,
Absolutely.
what can go wrong? I occasionally speak at different events, and I always say like, you don't ever want to be 65 years old sitting there saying that I should have did that. You know, I should have did that, or I should have followed that dream. You know, I mean, if it doesn't work out, then it just doesn't work out. But at least you tried.
For sure. Definitely got to take that first step.
Yep.
So, do you participate in any? And I know that you're working on a nonprofit, but at this time, or at this time or previously, have you done any work with givebacks or nonprofits, volunteering, anything like that?
I haven't recently or anything like that. Like I've spoken at different schools, well, to students. I've spoken at different events and stuff like that, but I haven't really worked with any other nonprofit that at this moment.
Oh, that's still giving back. That's a lot. You're
Mhm.
a wealth of information for
Mhm.
anybody who's
Mhm.
heard you speak or has had the chance to probably speak with you for sure.
Yeah.
So that's all to the good. So I want to definitely make sure to give you the opportunity to share any social media handles, any
Okay.
websites. That way, anybody who's watching and listening who wants to make contact and maybe even get their wardrobe worked on, they
Yes, yes. Anybody that wants to contact with me, you can contact me on Facebook at Rihanna Yvette. You can contact me on Instagram at underscore Rihanna Yvette. I'm always open. I mean, even if you just need someone to talk to, you know, everyone needs always needs another ear, I'm here. You know what I mean? I'll encourage you. I'll help push you. I'll do whatever I can. One thing my mentor has always told us when we graduated from the program, she always said, I want the life I spoke into you, I want you to speak into others. And that has always stuck with me ever since then. So I want to continue to speak any and all greatness into other people.
that's an amazing message for your mentor to have given you, and that you're continuing
Hmm.
to do because it can't just end right where it
No,
is.
no,
It
it
just
has to
can't.
continue. It has to continue on.
definitely going forward. I appreciate everything that you've shared with us
Thank
today.
you so much. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Is there anything that else that you would like to share before we go ahead and close out for the day?
No, just I mean, if you're interested in any of my services, just feel free to hit me up on any of my social media. But I hope everyone is safe and God bless and take care.
Definitely be safe, everyone, and check out the information in the description beneath this video. We'll see you all